And we are going to get on to what I was talking about. Kate Husby's going to pop on in here in a second, but I want you to see first this trailer for a new film coming your way called Quarter Life Crisis.
My birthday's coming up at the end of the month. It's like 25 days away, and if I could just change like every part about me, like that'd be perfect. I'm a singer and I guess, a documentarian too. I just realized like I'm nowhere near like where I wanted to be by this age.
What kind of steps are you taking to meet your needs?
I'm beginning this sort of month-long journey to my 25th birthday where I kind of want to reach my peak physical form. So would it be smart to start something like Ozempic?
I say that we try with hard work first.
We'll see where we're at in like 20 days, right? Hey!
Hi. How are you?
I'm done! I'm done!
So turning 25 is a problem for you.
Quarter life crisis, really.
Your obsession with aging is really a deflection of neurosis.
Time slipping through my fingers.
No, not at all. Not at your age.
You're going to only experience more of them if you're not standing up for yourself, if you're not becoming the best version of yourself.
Wait, so you're saying I need to be 25 years old to rent a car?
Yes.
Can I talk to your dad? Like, is somebody here I can talk to? How do I buy a house? Like a Venmo or?
No.
Absolutely can't wait for y'all to see it. I love that trailer. Please welcome, kind of back to the show, or at least in FSOC Network world. Kate Husby's here. My friend, how are you?
Good, Ken. It was so fun to watch that trailer with you and your audience. It gets me every time. It's been a wild journey.
Yeah, and I want to get into that and talk about Quarter Life Crisis and talk about you as an artist. You're one of my favorite people out there, you and Robert Butler III. That's how I got to know and work with you. But I just want to start on the surface. This trailer is fucking amazing, man.
Isn't it incredible?
Tell me how it got put together.
I can't take credit for the trailer. One of my good friends, Richard Lupersong, I was telling him about my movie and how I was in the process of editing it. And he offered to cut the trailer, and he is just one of those people who has an eye for trailers and putting the whole thing together and kind of communicating the whole story in like a minute and a half, which is incredible. Obviously, there's a lot under the surface there that you don't see fleshed out, but yeah, I have to give all the credit for the trailer to Richard, also known as Ricky. But yeah.
It's amazing. No, look, I know the movie's going to be great, and I can't wait. We're going to share a clip here soon. This is like a proper talk show today. But I know the movie's going to be great. But that trailer alone's enough. Like, you could just be like, hey, the movie could suck, but we had this. We had this put together to put out.
Right. Yeah, no, and I've been posting it on TikTok, and the response has been absolutely amazing. People just resonating with the material, the content, the humor. Yeah, I can't wait for people to see the full thing, but I think the trailer is getting people hyped as we're, entering festivals and thinking about, sharing clips on social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this project's been a couple years in the making, right? Take me through that, because we shot the scene that people will see here in a bit, but I can't even remember when we shot it. Well, in 2024, maybe, right?
Right. It's been a minute. So yeah, the film takes place in September of 2023, when I was approaching my 25th birthday. And it covers the 25-day journey leading up to my 25th birthday, where I am trying to get it all together, because I had this moment where I realized, I'm nowhere near where I thought I would be at this age. And so that sparked the idea for this documentary. What would it be like if I put myself through a crash course to try to be a fully functioning adult person in the world? And this is coming off the heels of graduating in online school, COVID, all of that. So I think, we shot your scene probably like a year ago, maybe a little bit even longer than that. But Yeah, it was mostly shot in the month of September of 2023.
That's crazy. That's the patience required to be a good artist sometimes. I think in this world, and I sound like an old man. I sound like the podcaster on your show that I played, but like, the fast gratification, and I fall to it, and I got 31 people watching now. I need 61 people. Like, sometimes great art, it's planned or it's spontaneous, but you build to it, and it takes time. And I think you guys have taken a wonderful amount. I mean this in a wonderful amount of time to put together something special. I can't.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you saying that, because it really has just been me and Rob, who most people know as RB3, editing this together. We tackled the first round of edits together, and then at some point he handed me his drive, and he started working on his movie, and I had locked in on the full timeline for about a year now. I've been locking in on the full timeline, and it's really exciting to finally be able to share it with people through the trailer and upcoming screenings that we're planning. And the patience is huge, but I also think there's something really special with the timing, because the year is 2025 and the world has never been in more of a crisis, as we see evidently from what you guys were talking about earlier. And I think the themes of the film have grown in relevancy, I think, as time has gone on, and it's been really interesting and fascinating to see how it takes on a new life through coming out when it's coming out.
That's what great art does, right? It maybe begins in one spot, or there's some intentions behind it that are very personal. It's a personal story, and I want to know more about that. But the themes reach out beyond the art and connect to the world, or find people when they need to hear it, or find people in different situations who connect with it. So that's already a good thing that it's doing, that you're discovering in the process of even making it.
Yeah, we thought about putting in the vault till 2030, but we thought, people need to see this. So
I do want to talk about the formula. I didn't know how much I wanted to explain, and also I haven't seen a full cut, so I don't even know how it plays out. But I am playing a character, but it's presented as a documentary. But there's also some real moments documented. This is a hybrid in a weird way, which I think is a beautiful medium to work in, because I love documentaries, but I also love comedies or art with pathos. So and you're able to kind of control some of the narratives, but not all of it. How did you come to that decision to tell the story this way?
Yeah, I mean, comedy is my lifeblood. It keeps me going, as I'm sure you can relate to with all your stand-up work and comedy work. And I thought, first of all, the premise of this movie is ridiculous. The idea that people are supposed to have things figured out, right, by 25, but life is all about figuring out who you are, exploring what brings you joy. And I think the premise itself is just funny, and so we leaned into the comedy with this. It is a documentary, but it is also a comedy film at the same time, and so it was a mix and match of reaching out to real experts in real areas of life, different fields of life, but then also finding the balance of maybe somebody could bring a little something extra to this one expert, So it was very much like a real time figuring out who's gonna be a real expert, who's gonna maybe not be so expert in their field, but an amazing cast. The people who agreed to be in this are some of the funniest and most insightful, talented people I've ever worked with. So I just feel extremely blessed that our cast and crew is as stacked as it is, including yourself.
I was going to say, unfortunately, you're also stuck with me, because I made that blood oath with RB3 that I'd be in every one of the projects he or you are involved with as your old white dude. Do we want to
told us not to mention that?
Yeah, I know. I saw. And by the way, you call him Rob, and every time, even on set, it confuses the hell out of me. You're like, well, Rob said. I'm like, we don't have a Rob here. Oh,
right,
Robert Butler the third. Okay.
and on other sets, I know people who call him Bob or Bobby, and so I'm over here like,
What?
we all have a different alias for RB3, and I think that's special in its own way.
Because RB3 is special in his own way.
Yeah.
King Sport Cal has a question, but we'll answer some of it here. What are Jay and Ken's roles in the doc? We'll keep some of that a mystery. Do you want to? In traditional talk show fashion, Cade, do you want to set up this clip you're about to roll?
Yeah, I'll do a quick physical comedy bit, and then we can cut to the. No, yeah. So the clip you're about to see is an excerpt from Ken's scene in the film. I just left a life coach who was trying to get me to understand how to be an alpha male, and he said, I live by the words of this podcaster, so you need to go see him. And that podcaster is none other than Dr. Luke Harrison, played by Ken Napzok.
Or is it played? Let's see. Here's the clip.
The lines are blurry.
The lines are blurred. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign for my character. Here's Cade visiting very influential podcaster, Dr. Luke Harrison.
I've gone on dates, yeah, but
Do you pray before your dates?
I'm not super religious myself. I'd say I'm more spiritual.
Yes, one of the chinks in the armor of your generation. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I don't follow any kind of ideals. Is God a man to you?
I mean, Ariana Grande is one of my favorite artists, so no. But
when you understand your internal structure, the winds of the world don't blow you around as much. Would you know? You could.
Yeah, I would.
You're just going to lean back like your generation, just watching everything kind of wash over you.
I hear you having this sort of focus and frustration on my generation, but that's exactly why I'm making this documentary.
Okay.
Because, and I'm glad you kind of brought that up, because my generation is facing very unique struggles. We're sort of right in the middle of an age of, economic downturn, societal sort of upheaval, a lot of division politically.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't deny the struggles of it. I was just at an airport in Newark, and I paid $78 for a hamburger, and that was a problem.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get it.
I just visited a doctor, and I'm starting a personal training program.
Yeah, I believe that 25 push-ups a day will keep the COVID away. I think a lot of what we learned about the world was you talking about how do we take care of ourselves as a generation. I imagine you're asking yourself these questions as you're dipping your hand into a bag of fentanyl and maybe not connecting the dots of what you're doing.
No, I've never done fentanyl.
You never done fentanyl?
No.
Research would show that's probably not accurate, but
I'm laughing at you because you're so great, Cade. Wonderful stuff.
It's wild seeing the live chat of your actual show, The Blathering, going next to the live chat of the Dr. Luke Harrison show. I mean, life imitates art, you know what I mean? But luckily, you're a much more wise man than that character.
Yeah, we hope, right? We hope. And I don't even know. I'm sure a ton of the stuff we shot landed on the cutting room floor because we shot a lot of wonderful stuff. So I hope what I'm campaigning for, Cade, is that there's a special edition released with the full podcast episode as a bonus. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to get to that point because there's a lot that we had to cut for time, but I think the funniest moments and the most quarter life crisis centric moments definitely made it into the film. And I'm excited for the audience to see the rest of the scene because that's only like a third of the full scene. So
yes.
There's a lot more of Dr. Luke Harrison to see.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, we are going to tell everybody where and when they can see this here. But one of the things I want to talk to you about is now that you've kind of maybe moved past this, because the quarter life crisis was real. As I talked at the top of the show, it's easy to make fun of, especially as you get older. Like, oh, I was so worried about things at 25. But it's very real when you feel it, and then you push through it, and you're never maybe on steady ground. But where are you now after the project before, as compared to before?
Yeah. I think, I think we're all just still figuring life out as we go. And that's really like the joy of life is exploring, what's working and what's not. And I think making the film was like a really incredible way for me to process this juncture in my life where I'm leaving behind my, youth or childhood, and not so much because I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like still a very like, I don't know, youthful person in a lot of ways, but I
You are.
think leaving behind some of the naivete of of
Mm-hmm.
childhood, and incorporating your childhood self into your adult self, and how do you merge those two worlds. And obviously everyone's still working on that as much as
Yeah.
we can, but
Yeah.
I think it's just showed me that it's one day at a time. You know, you got to get wisdom where you can, get joy and love where you can,
Mm.
and just
That's
the
great.
narrative that you build around your life is so important. I think you
Mm.
know, off screen too,
Mm.
about where you see yourself in the world. Like the one guy earlier was talking about how we're on a spinning speck of sand,
Mm.
and I couldn't agree more. You know, but um, for me personally, as an artist and a creator, like recognizing my youth and realizing it's a privilege to even make it to 25, because I have friends who didn't,
Mm-hmm.
and just taking every day, seizing every day as much as I can, and bed rotting when I need to, because we all love a
Yeah.
little bed rot.
A little bed rot indeed. Almost had our last few questions for you here too. When I first met you, you were producing stuff for Bobby Butler III and directing things with him, appearing
Right.
things. Also, you were doing stand-up comedy. But you have an absolute wonderful little music career going that I hope is actually getting bigger. You have a song that I've played on a pop rock and radio. You are one of the things I look up to you as is you're a brave performer. You find something and there you go for it, and I admire that with you. You don't tell yourself
Thank you.
no as much as maybe other people do, including myself. And I'm sure there's moments where you tell yourself no, but what drives you
Yeah.
to tell yourself yes when it comes to art in life?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. That's a very thoughtful question. I think for me, it's I have felt the most inspired in my life by art, whether it be TV, music, a painting, a can sculpture,
Hmm.
but you know what I mean? Um, and to be able to like give a little bit of that back to the world is like really special to me, and it's what drives me and motivates me, because I think when we put ourselves out there and we share our truths and we share our vulnerabilities like you do so often on this podcast, it lets other people feel seen, you know, and it lets
Mm.
other people feel less alone, and it sparks ideas, and it sparks empathy and perspective,
Mm.
and laughs and giggles, and
Yeah,
you know, we love a good time. So
yeah.
I think for me it's like one thing I keep in the back of my head is, you know, if you're having fun, the audience is having fun.
Mm.
And I always want the audience to have a good time,
Mm.
when it's appropriate, of course. But you
That's
know what I
appropriate.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so in this movie, like, I started out, you know, questioning, do I play more of a character? Do I play more of myself? And it's landing somewhere in between, but it's really like a true expression of myself and the way that I uh,
Mm.
wanted to go for laughs and sort of like kind of just make RB3 laugh behind the camera. You know what
Which
I
is the
mean?
greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah. And so if he was laughing on set, I was like, okay, we're good. We're going
Mm.
somewhere good. Because this
Mm-hmm.
movie would not have been possible without him in more ways than one. But especially just his presence and our friendship is like just so like we just are always trying to make each other laugh. So it kind of stems from that too.
Mm. Mm. It does indeed. All right, the final big thing. People are asking. I know where I'm going to be seeing it here locally at a premiere night, but what's the plan? You said festivals, which means sometimes you can't show it publicly if you're going for festivals, but it depends on what you're doing. So, what's the plan for the world to see this?
Yeah, so we're like just finishing the film now. So
Yeah.
it's not going to be out to watch the full thing for a while.
Yeah.
But what I want to encourage everyone to do is to follow the film on social media, whether you're on Instagram or TikTok. because we're going to be posting a lot of clips, a lot of like deleted scenes, like stuff that didn't make the final movie, like some things that might get canceled. But so follow us there, and we're going to be hosting screenings in LA throughout the summer and the fall as we're going through the festival circuit. And if you want us to bring the film to a screen in your city, like send me an email, hit me up. Let's screen the film for you and your friends. And yeah, just stay updated on our socials for those clips and those moments, and more Ken Knapsack as Dr. Luke Harris.
Yeah, there's some stuff I know we said that I hope I can't wait. Put it out there. I want the world to see.
Right.
Remember, I'm playing a character. But great. I think I have the link for Instagram in the YouTube description below. I'll go back and add Blue Sky or any place you are on. I'll get it from your email that you sent me. But yeah, do that, folks, right now, and let's build some buzz for this. Let's get this going here. I'm really excited about it. Like, cannot wait. Like, I already knew, hey, I love everything I work on with you two. But I knew we had some magic that day, and then to see that trailer and to know some of the magic behind the other scenes too. I can't wait for the world to see it.
Thank you so much for having me on to talk about this. This is the first press for it. I've done it all, and it's very fitting, and luckily your live chat is a lot kinder than Dr. Luke Harrison's. I encourage you to go back and read some of those live stream comments if you didn't catch them while it was rolling. But yeah, lots to explore in the film, lots of exciting stuff coming up, and I'm so grateful you're a part of it. So thank you for championing our work.
Hey,
let's go.
Let's do it. I'm grateful that you keep me around for some fun. All right, Kate Huseby, everybody. We'll see you, Kate.
Bye, chat.
Bye. All right.